so glad you could join us for You Make the Difference today. We're talking to Chick Donovan, who is a professional wrestler, and he's going to tell us about wrestling, and he's going to also tell us about some poetry that he's written, and at the end, he will give us a prayer.
Good, and we're going to talk a lot of other things as well,
yeah,
Miss Wanda.
we are. You're well-rounded.
And I'd like to say something about your family.
Okay.
And your brother, Robert Walker.
Yes.
Incredible individual. You as well, your whole family. I didn't know everyone in the family, but you know, what they say, the acorn don't fall too far from the tree. So
yes.
I assume it was all knowing your mother. You guys are just a wonderful, wonderful group, and I'm a better person for having known Robert these last few years.
Yes, thank you. And y'all have a real friendship and are workout partners at the gym,
Yes,
right?
we've been working out, I guess it's 7, maybe even 8 years now. Time flies, and it's just been wonderful. He motivates me, and I motivate him, and it's really good. So we have a good partnership.
Yes.
So it's really good.
And he's been a real inspiration in my life, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
But somebody calls, he's right there to help him, and he just loves doing what he's doing, and just a great guy. Thank you, Robert Walker.
Yes.
Publicly, thank you very much for being a great friend to me.
Yes, and we all love him in our family.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you wanted to start off the show by talking about your Navy career.
Well, I think this show is talking about people making a difference, I think, and that's, I think military brings out a lot in you to go through the boot camp training, which I think should be mandatory for all the youngsters that maybe not don't want to hear that, but it grows you up. They take you and they mold you for discipline, and it's just a valuable experience going through boot camp. But Navy was you know, I enjoyed it. Traveled around the world and to Europe a lot, and became I guess a bosun mate or boat coxswain. So I drove the captain around. You know, it was kind of fun. Yeah, I wore the real sharp starched whites, and you know, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my time in the Navy, and it's been really fruitful since I've been out to have that experience.
Well, how did you get started in wrestling?
Well, not how, but why. Gosh, I don't know why anybody ever want to get into wrestling. It's so detrimental to your body. I've got, you know, a fractured back and neck and knees are blown out and just sciatica. It's so bad, but you know, it's been, I think overall it's been really good. But some years ago, I guess around 75, that there was a school available in Macon where I was a fireman. And so I attended and I had to put 100 pounds on a year. So I started eating and training and work and work and work. And I think anything you do is, no job's too small. I don't care if you're cleaning the bathroom or sweeping the floor, be the best at it, be the best you can be at it. And just worked hard, and finally after a year, like I said, put 100 pounds on of body weight and muscle weight, and then kind of started having some matches. In fact, I drove from Macon, Georgia to Detroit, Michigan for $20.
Wow.
And I don't know if I got the $20 or not, but I still made the show, right?
Yes.
But so you have to pay your dues. Whatever you do, kids, you work hard. You have to have a great work ethic. If you have that work ethic and you're willing to listen, anybody will help you be successful. But you sit and listen. When we walked in the dressing room years ago, we weren't allowed to speak. You sat there and listened, and if you were spoken to, you spoke. But you had to build that respect. You had to earn your respect from the other boys. And once you earn that respect through your hard work and your knowledge of improving your work, that you finally got to be part of the conversations. But there's always just work hard at whatever you do to be the best you can be at it.
Yes, and you must have learned well because you won some championships. Tell me about those.
Well, you know, I won a few belts and world heavyweight titles, this title, that title, and you can take all that and probably $1 if you're right blind and get a cup of coffee, you know. But it's not what you earn, it's what you do with what you earn. I think it's, I try to lead by example, especially now in the wrestling. You can talk all day, but if you don't walk the walk or talk the talk, do what you say, yeah, it doesn't really mean a lot. So I try to be an example when I go in the dressing room of language, just character.
Yes.
Being a good character. In our dressing rooms here in the Grange, which we'll be wrestling here the 15th of April. That's this month. It's next week.
It is.
Wow.
Yes.
Time flies. You know. It's you know. I request there's no ugly language in that dressing room. No, nothing. It has a Christian overtone.
And where do you wrestle?
It's at the National Guard Armory.
Yes.
And it starts at 7:30, the 15th of April. Be there.
Yes, it'll be fun, won't it?
But I reiterate back as far as being the one who makes a difference, I guess is the theme of the show, is a fireman. I love that fire department. It was a great stage to be on. We worked hard, learned a lot, and when the EMS, in fact, we started the EMS program in Georgia out of the Monroe County Hospital, but through the Macon Fire Department.
Yes, Robert told me. That's amazing.
And we got on the ground floor, had the first Hearst tool, or the tool, Jaws of Life. That was pretty unique to be on that ground floor of the EMS and what it's involved into today.
Yes.
It was just a great time, a lot of experiences, a lot of accidents, a lot of different, God, you see a lot of stuff. And then when I was a fireman, I worked 4 full-time jobs. I worked in 3 different hospitals and the fire department, so it was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, if a lot of firemen, they all have other jobs to do besides just one. So, but it was a great time in my life, and I really loved the fire department. It helped folks. I was able to go out and teach fire safety, go to the schools and put on seminars, CPR, whatever, all the different things, entities, things that, they were important to help people, and just be able to teach. And I love teaching. And
yes.
Of course, I taught at high school here 15 years. But then special ed,
yeah.
special was my forte.
Great. You have done so many different things.
But,
and I know we are talking about making a difference, and I know there have been some people who have made a difference in your life. Tell me about some people who have mentored you.
Well, Robert is one who's made a difference in my life, and now I go to Liberty Worship Center the last couple of years, and that's made a big difference. Pastor Chris Yarbrough,
yes,
has been an inspiration, and it's a little different church, and it's a Spirit-filled church, but we have 3 different churches here, 2 in town and 1 in the valley, but I play music at both of them, and but it's been an inspiration, and it changed my way of thinking about a lot of things, and Mr. Charlie Ball, I don't know if you know Charlie Ball or not. He was a paratrooper in his younger day.
I know of him. Yeah.
He was just a great inspiration. I could go name Wayne. I could name names, and I hate to even name names, because if you leave somebody out, they feel like they've been left out. But it's been a lot of people, and I guess the biggest inspiration that is my father.
Yes.
He lived a Christian life. We were at church every Sunday morning, Sunday night, every Wednesday, everything. Every function we were there. He was a deacon. And he had a wonderful death. He died on Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
Wow, it couldn't have been better. He got the gift of eternal life on Christmas Day.
Yes.
So I thought that was it was sad, but then it was joyous, And that inspired me to write some poetry, I think. And then I will recite one later on that I think that has a lot to do with it, and may help somebody else that may be feeling down right now, I think, as well.
Yes, and then you've been mentored, but you have also mentored people.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the people that you have mentored and had an impact on.
Well, one of the fellows I turned the wrestling over here to, Patrick Arrington, he started with me some years ago, putting the rings up. He started building the lights. You got to learn from the ground up if you want to learn a business, to learn respect for that business and what it takes to do the medial job and what it takes to do the top job. You have to learn it from inside out. So I mentored him, I guess, from the beginning. And all professional sports is between the ears. You do enough of this and all the activity that you don't even think about that, but it's all between the ears. It's how you think about what you're doing, when you do it, how long you do it, and those type of things. And we've had many, many discussions over the years now of all those psychological things of the wrestling, the physical things, so now he runs the business here in town, Patrick Arrington, and his family does a great job. They come in and get everything set up and everything out within the 2 hours, which I like, 7:30 to 9:30.
Yes.
And a lot of guys want to run shows real long and think they're good. No, you don't want people to live there. You just want them to come and watch it and get back to the house. So sometimes less is better. Less is better in a lot of cases. If it's music or whatever it may be, less can be a lot better.
And there was a young man, Paul Warfield.
Yes.
Tell me about the impact you had on his life.
Well, Paul Warfield I met in wrestling in Fort Valley, Georgia. And he was going to college. And I helped him along verbally, just talking to him about the business and how to go about doing different things. And so he was coming to his end of his college career, and he had to make a video. That was what do you call it?
His career?
His career,
yes.
His career goals. Anyway, to be in the video. So he made a video of me, of my life, actually. I brought him some pictures. He did a lot of interviews. I didn't know. He did a lot of film I didn't know he was doing for it. But from the beginning to the end, I think he did a really good job. And it's a 10 or 15-minute video, but it was really good about my whole life, really, from birth to the present time at that point.
Yes.
He did a great job with it.
Now, you have a following, and the following is from little children, youth, and all the way up to older adults. What do you attribute that to?
It's hard to say. I think maybe the media now has brought back a lot of the old to the new, because sometimes the wrestling fans change every 3 years, and you get forgotten if you're not on the TV all the time, whatever. But I think the media and just being here, being around, being in the public eye here in town, I think.
Yes.
Their family knows me, so they bring their kids, and then I don't wrestle for me. I wrestle for the people. I don't play music for me. I play for the people. Who are you playing for? You can't play for yourself. You'd be sitting there by yourself, with nobody around you. So you work for the people, and I work to entertain and to make them happy and put a smile on their faces. And I think it kind of grows. You get one, it kind of multiplies through the group. They talk about this, and it just kind of multiplies. But the thing of it is, the more notoriety you have, the more following, or whatever you want to call it, the more responsibility it carries.
Yes.
It carries a ton of responsibility when you've got this youngster, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, and he's looking up to you. You got to watch who you surround yourself with, the things you say, and you just got to watch everything you do real closely.
Yes.
to protect that, because it's responsibility. And ain't no free lunches in life. You got to pay in one way or another. You got to pay for what you get. You get what you. I think you earn what you get, but then you take that responsibility when you're in a limelight, or whatever you want to call it, or celebrity, whatever you want to say. But like I said, it takes a lot of responsibility. You have to think about that constantly. You don't want to disappoint those folks.
Right.
Not just kids, people in general.
Yes. And you were known as the Golden Boy.
Yes, ma'am. That started some years ago. I've had the opportunity to wrestle with, I helped train Hulk Hogan, worked with Ric Flair, so many guys that people through the years have known through the TV. But wrestling number 2 was a big icon in Georgia. And I was in the dressing room one night. I think it was in Columbus, Georgia. And I was always kind of correlated by my outfits and stuff. I kind of known as a sharp dressed man or whatever.
Yes.
But anyway, if I'd wear blue trunks, I'd put blue shoestrings in. If I wore red, but I had gold in that particular night, the gold trunks and a gold, and I had blonde hair. It's kind of changed now a little bit, but it was long blonde hair then. And he said, "Chick, you ought to call yourself the Golden Boy." And so I did. I started then, and since forever. And there was only one other Golden Boy in the business, and he had been retired for a long time. His name was Arnold Skolden. But that was the only other Golden Boy. So wrestling number 2 kind of planted the seed, and I kind of grew the idea and just went with it and used that for a theme.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And who were some of the famous people that you were actually in the ring with?
Well, you say Hulk Hogan, Jerry Lawler, what's his name, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, his father, Rocky Johnson, wrestling 1, 2, so many of the older guys that were in the business. Bob Orton Jr., which is Randy Orton's father. It's just so many folks,
Yeah.
just throughout the world. As in Japan, Hiroshi, I can't say. A lot of guys in Japan and Middle East, a lot of English wrestlers in the Middle East were just tremendous. Blackjack Mulligan, Stan Hansen, Ole Anderson, Andre the Giant,
Yes.
just list is just so long, you know. That's all those folks that I learned from. I mentored from them. I watched them, and they'd come back to the dressing room. I said, man, how'd you do that? And they didn't do much, but what they did, they knew how to do it and when to do it.
Yeah.
It's not, like I said, simplicity can be better. It's just how much and when and where and just how you go about doing things. But they were masters, and I had the opportunity to learn from those guys and work with them. And I'm probably the last of our school. Most everybody's passed away now. Jerry's gone. Gosh, it's just Dusty's passed away. Roddy Piper's gone. That whole crew that we learned from the older guys is about all gone. I'm the only one left. I'm probably one of the top 2 or 3 people still wrestling in the state of Georgia at my age, at 69.
Yes, that's so impressive. Yeah. So how your career took you like to different places in the United States?
Yeah,
and
from
also
Atlanta to Miami, from Miami to California, and all the stops in between. Texas was a big inspiration with the Von Erichs, which they've all passed away now.
And also took you out of the United States.
Well, to Japan. I enjoyed it. We stayed in Tokyo there and traveled to all the islands of Japan, and some little small town. I remember wrestling one time in it must have been a pig pen, and it's pretty good. Me and Stan Hansen was against Giant Bob and oh gosh, another great, I don't know. Anyway, it was funny. It was out in the mud and stuff, but then I wrestled in Texas Stadium, and I wrestled the Superdome in New Orleans. I wrestled in the Cow Palace in San Francisco, and I wrestled in a storage building.
Which was your favorite?
Your favorite
place?
Probably the storage building.
Really?
Not really. That was fun, though. It was fun. And a house. I had my GPS set when we were in Athens, Tennessee, somewhere a long way, just 4 or 5 hours. I get there, say, you're here. I say, where? I don't see nothing. And it's nowhere ringing. It was a White House over it, and it was nothing. And I went down and asked the guy at the store. He said, yes, in that house. The guy had a house. Had a ring set up in one end of it. Had about 300 people in the house, or 100, what it was. Had a concession stand, had a dressing room, and whatever in this house. So I wrestled from Texas Stadium to a house, to a storage building.
You wrestled in front of how many people?
It was, I guess, for 60,000 people.
Wow.
Now, Tokyo Dome in Japan, there might have been more.
Really?
Because they're smaller, they get a little closer, and they lay all over the floor. I mean, they just pack in there. So it might have been more at the Tokyo Dome, 2 nights in a row, and
yes.
that was exciting.
So you've done some work with Special Olympics. Tell me about that.
Well, when I was a firefighter, I loved being a firefighter, man. That was awesome. But yeah, I was this was after firefighting. I was personal training at the gym, working. I had my gym, and then I went in with the Gold's Gym, which is now Downtown Fitness. But yeah, the Special Olympics, the powerlifting coach, and had some kids come in. They were very had their head down. They didn't think too much about themselves, and so we went to work. And I couldn't believe they did everything I asked them to do. They worked their behinds off and just worked and worked and worked. And we went to the show or to the Olympics, and it was serious business. All these different entities came, different school classes or whatever, and a lot of the kids had on powerlifting shoes and outfits. I mean, they were teams, brother. We looked kind of like from the backwoods or something, but compared to those guys. But Sean, I think, was one. But they won probably 10 or 15 gold medals. I don't know. It was it was tearful to me to watch them stand on that podium and get those gold medals for their work they did. But I pushed them, but I didn't let them fail. So you don't want anybody to fail.
Right.
You want to push them as far as they can go. You don't want to frustrate them, and you don't want to let them fail. You go. They may could do another pound, but you may not want to try that pound because they may not make it. And you don't want to put that negative in their head. You want to make them. Everything has to be positive.
Yes.
It has to be positive. So that's the way I trained these kids, to where they were positive. I didn't let them fail.
Yes.
I made sure they were on top. They came out on top. But it was at the end they came out, got themselves a job, bought a car, had all those the gold gimmicks, and just was smiling head to head, and they were just different people.
Yes. And you also play golf.
Well, I've been playing golf 60-some years. Chichi Rodriguez and I got to be real good friends, and I played before then, but he showed me all the technique of the golf swing, and I love teaching it now more than playing it. I guess as you get older, your talent sort of ceases, but the basic mentality is still there. Then you can relay that to others, and that's when I enjoy doing everything I go. I enjoy, through my hard work, being able to relate those things to other people and make them put a smile on their face.
And you also, through golf, got an opportunity to work with some abused children. Tell me about that.
Chichi Rodriguez has a place in Tampa where I was living and wrestling out of the Tampa office, and worked with those kids, and it was incredible. You know, I did everything from painting the clubhouse to cleaning out the lakes to whatever it was, and playing the golf and working with the children. And one day at my gym, it was a girl and guy came in, they sat down, and we were talking about, and somehow golf came up, and said, last time, and I'd never seen these kids before, he said, the last time I played golf was when you taught me.
Huh.
I said, what do you mean? And he was one of the kids that had to come to the foundation. They were kicked out of school, and they came anyway, had all their stuff. But he was one of the kids who were there, and said, last time I played golf was when you taught me. And, you know, that was small world. It was kind of, it's kind of amazing to me that he was sitting in my gym now.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it was.
It's nice when the Lord brings back people that you've
it's
had an
awesome.
impact on, and you get to talk to them and see where they are later on in life. And
you know, the impact not only just goes with them, it comes back. I mean, you're impacted probably more than they are.
yes.
And just enjoy in the heart, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Chick, you presently work at Georgia Cares. Tell me about some of the service that Georgia Cares offers.
Well, it's a great place. It's about Medicare, and it has other services to help folks with durable medical equipment, food, clothes, Meals on Wheels. But I work in the Medicare department, which is called Georgia Cares. And when I went there as a volunteer to answer the phone and whatever, and I started reading the books and took the test and became what they call a ship counselor. Now people call in, and we have 35 counties all around here, then Atlanta, and all around North Georgia. They call in, and people all from Augusta, all over the state call in for help with their Medicare. It could be something about fraud. It could be something about needing a drug plan. It could be just changing things or getting people set up on the Medicare, because not many people know too much about Medicare.
Right.
I knew nothing when I went, but I studied the books, and I had mentored by Belinda Jones, mentored me slowly, and I picked it up and learned the business, and still learning every day about it because it changes readily. So people call in, and we provide that service of overcoming a lot of their Medicare needs and put a smile on their face. So
Yes.
it's a great job. Everyone there we all clone together, I think, with a giving heart. And we give every day to make people put a smile on their face. So it's just a great place. It's located in Franklin, Georgia. Three Rivers Area Agency for the Aging. That took a while to learn how to say, but
Yes.
Yeah, Georgia Cares. And I wanted to put a number on the screen. I was going to give it to them. So he was
That's
going to put it
great.
up. And so if you have any need for anything with your Medicare or your drug plan situations, any kind of situation you may have with Medicare, you can call me, Chick Donovan, at 706-675-9031. It's a direct line into the office, and we'd be glad to overcome any situation you might have or try to help you with that.
I want you to talk a little bit about your gym life, because I know you're faithful at the gym. I know you have friends at the gym.
Yes.
And I know you help people through the gym. And I know there are probably gym friends watching the show, and I want to hear your story.
Well, I
about
first
the
came to
gym.
town, I guess, in the middle 80s. I had the opportunity to get a job at the gym. I ended up buying the gym and creating fitness from maybe a different standpoint, not just a certain secular people, but from small people up, just a different umbrella of, I guess if you want to say that, of ages and variety of fitness. And so I started training folks.
Yes.
Now, some of those folks I was training now their grandkids are coming to their kids' kids is coming to the gym now. So that's what you try to do, not to get upside down here, but it's trying to create, as a personal trainer, trying to create a lifestyle within the family. as you do as a preacher does at church, create a lifestyle within that family so that the influence follows it down through the generations. And that's what you do with training. That's was my theory, to involve their parents and have the parents involve the kids, and then their kids and their kids. So just have it come down through the. So it's been a lot of folks who are able, thousands of people, I think, have come through Chick's Gym and able to, have influence in both ways. That they've influenced me. I was able to influence them with some hard work and knowledge that I've learned through the years. And, you learn from everybody.
Yes.
You can, if you got a 2-year-old home, you can learn from that 2-year-old if you just watch long enough. Or when somebody comes to the gym, now I go to the gym now and I just look around the room and see what different people are doing. And if I see something, wow, man, I can learn from somebody that I've never seen or hadn't been in the business but a year, but it doesn't matter. But you can learn from everyone. And if you just keep your eyes open, your ears open, and ask and learn, and then you can relate that to somebody else and help them with their workouts.
Yes, and we have about 2 minutes, and I know you wanted to share about the poetry that you've written. And,
yes, ma'am.
And also give a prayer at the end of the show.
I think mentioned before that my dad was the inspiration. I think this was before the show, wasn't it? No, I can't remember if it was or after. And he lived a life, and he walked the walk, and we were at the church from sun up to sun, well, every Sunday, Wednesday, and whenever it was open. He raised us that way. Before we had dinner, we had Bible scripture at the table, and we had he read scripture at night before we went to bed. And I was just saying that he died on Christmas Day, which was incredible. He got the gift of eternal life that he lived. And so I wrote this poem, was kind of an inspiration called Not the End. So I want to read, there comes a time in everyone's life the end draws near. Not really the end, just a new beginning. At these times it seems so sad, but in reality we should be glad. There's a new beginning, not the end. We live, we die, people gather together and begin to cry. Life goes on after we pass, and if people go to work, horses still eat grass. We only live in this temporary place to begin a new adventure where there'll be no rat race. We all must understand, time is so precious, life is so short. God carries us all in His almighty hand.
Yeah, and Chick is going to close us out with this prayer.
If you're feeling out there lonely, lonesome, lost, repeat this prayer after me, please. Just raise our hands. Lord, I'm a sinner. I believe in Jesus. I want Jesus to come in my heart, save my soul, forgive my sins, and save my soul. If you repeat that prayer after me one more time, Lord, I'm a sinner. I believe in you, Lord. I want you to come in my heart, forgive my sins, and save my soul. Amen. If you repeat that prayer for me, go to your nearest church on Sunday, and you'll be in the the book of life.
Yes.
In heaven.
Thank you for watching You Make the Difference, and remember, you truly do.